I've been using D'Addario strings since my first electric guitar. First electric guitar was a Vantage Avenger, red. And yeah, I've been using them since the beginning. I had a brief fling with some other strings, and there's just something about these strings that I keep coming back to. And you know, I'm not really the type of cat that really wants to say, hey man, I'm playing a band, gotta get some strings. But I met some folks on tour that worked at D'Addario, and they have very graciously hooked me up, and you know, I've managed to get a bunch of strings for free, essentially. And I very rarely have the balls to order, so when I'm at home, I go to the store and I buy them. Because for some reason it seems very difficult for me to get on the phone and say, hey man, can I get some strings? So I buy them. I love these strings, 10 through 52. I've been using them forever.
Nickel?
No, I think they're about 8 something. But I still, you know, I buy them no matter what, man. If they're a nickel, that'd be great. But the guys at the music store will say, hey man, you know, like, dude, it doesn't matter what type of string you get. They're all made in the same factory. But, you know, I've tried a lot of strings. You know, of course, you're going to be in dire straits where you need to get a set of strings and the company's out of them or whatever. But every time I use D'Addario, there's something, I don't know, it's like, it's not even that they're looser, it's not even that the tension's different, it's not even, it's just there's like some sort of a quality to it that is sonically, I don't know, it sounds more silver and blue than some other strings that kind of sound like dark purple or something, right? So I really like that feeling, and it's a very familiar thing. And, you know, because I'm a lazy sod for the most time, I don't get around to change my strings usually till I break a string. And sometimes the fact that they do last a long time is a bit of a detriment, because I'll sweat all over them and just like have these crummy sets of strings for months, and I'll just be like, break. You know, I need an excuse to change this set. So that's, I guess, both a pro and a con to slobs like myself that feel the need to keep them on until, you know, worst case scenario happens. And because I always see music in terms of like notes relating to color, it's kind of interesting that the A string is red and the G string is green, actually. Yeah, maybe it's just I've grown so accustomed to the colors of the little balls that you know, that sort of tonal correlation has just rung true over the years. It's your fault. I was producing bands, mixing bands, and with really no intention of getting back into it. I'd come out of performing live. In all honesty, I, you know, had a lifestyle change that kind of forced me in a lot of ways to reevaluate my reasons for doing music and, you know, why and where and how I wanted to perform live. So I took 3 years to kind of figure it out, and then Peavy actually called me and said, we really think that you should get back into it. You should really start working on your music again, and we've got a lot of things that we can do to kind of help you along your way. We'd like to build a guitar with you. We'd like you to have input on an amp that we're doing with Buddha, and we'd like you to just do your thing. And it's funny, it's like if they hadn't come along, in all honesty, there's a good chance that I wouldn't be back doing what I'm doing now. They kind of gave me, you know, for a long time, I've been with like companies here and there, and a lot of times because, you know, I'm kind of frenetic cat, and I kind of just talk a lot of shit a lot of the time. A lot of people are just like, well, where are we going to put this dude, right? Like, he's just this guy, and I mean, sure, he can play and he can write songs and everything, but he's just, what are we going to do with him? How are we going to sell this cat, right? So having a company that's just like, well, you just need to figure this out for yourself. Maybe all these things that you're doing musically at this point are more based on you refining your process, and maybe your calling isn't to be like a rock guy and get out there and do that. Maybe, you know, if you want to write a symphony, or if you want to do some sort of like musical, you know, of course, like really rudimentary and in terms of how I process it, not in a professional or like classical type of sense. But maybe all this work I've done in the past is like practice for that. And so to have a company like Peavy get on board and say, well, here's an amp, here's a bunch of guitars, you know, and go for it. And then, of course, with D'Addario and Planet Waves, it's like the people here have just been incredibly kind to the process. And that has also, it's like you kind of get to the point where it's like, well, there's all these really cool people and these really cool companies that are making products that I really like that have faith in me. So at this point, not to have faith in myself is like, this seems kind of silly, right? So, having, the support of these companies in a lot of ways is just been, I don't know, a godsend in a lot of ways, because now I can feel like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do it. And what I do, sure, it's like maybe a little unconventional, and maybe what I choose to say and what I choose to sing isn't, the typical kind of sellable commodity. But you know what? If you do it from the heart, then it's going to be honest and authentic. And I think in some small way, there's a market for that artistically. And even when you think market, it thinks, well, buy my stuff, whatever. I mean, God, dude, download my stuff. Go for it. I mean, ultimately, the point of why I'm doing this is so people can hear it, so I can do it, like, from a cathartic point of view. So, if I can feed the family, and if I can continue to do what I do, and if I can perform for people and play music that I'm, like, into 100%, and I'm not, like, compromising it artistically, then, man, having a group of folks that are in these companies that really have no, reason other than just being kind to say, hey, dude, like, here's some strings, here's a guitar, here's an amp, get out there, do your thing, right, has been a real wake-up call for me in a lot of ways, and has allowed me to really focus on these 4 records of this Devin Townsend project that I'm doing now. And who knows, right, at the end of it, it might be successful, it might be not successful, it might be the same, but ultimately, it's like I'm very happy to be able to do it. There's a lot of people that don't get the chance to do it. So if I'm getting the chance to do it, then I'm just going to do the best I can, right? And I guess, much to some people's chagrin, the best I can sometimes involves me being, a Fruit Loop, right? So there you go. Waka waka.